Hey, what's going on everyone? Supreme Kami here. So I am at the alternation page per usual. We're going to be taking a look at the Crystalized Unicorn Gundam as well as the Kshatriya repair over here. We're just going to quickly see, alright, how are the stats? Like, are they something you have to like must summon on? Like what kind of like part tray are they packing over here? And then the Crystalized Unicorn, it does look pretty cool, like, but in like the actual game, it doesn't look too spectacular. Like all those like clear parts are kind of blocky, I would say. It's not really like anime accurate in ways. So yeah. So you guys watching this or not, I should have done my summoning for the unicorn. I have yet to do the Kshatriya repair like summon because I thought it wasn't that good. But I was wrong. There's some real good parts that we'll be going over, like when I go over to the other side. So we're gonna quickly talk about the unicorn over here, per usual. I will have my stat on the side, so you guys can just see how we're doing. So keep that in mind. I do have everything, the raw melee attack plus the defense. Add that to the change here, so that's why the stat are a little bit more different, like a lot higher than what you guys are gonna be seeing over here. So I did rate them up from like the top 20 just because if you are looking from like 1 to 20, there's obviously a lot more better parts, so that's why I'm doing that. Anything besides that, it does not means they're not good. It's just that they have been power crafted and I don't think they're even like that good. So but that does not mean that the portrait is not good though. So yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot going on over here. So let's quickly take a look at the unicorn head over here. The stat is not looking too bad. We are the top 10 over here, coming in at number 8. That's pretty good. That kind of outranks a lot of units that we have already. So like I said, like a new week, there's always new units that's gonna come up that's gonna take over what we have for like the following week, the previous week. So there's really no point in like chasing like a specific part in a way. So that's why we always want to take a look at the meat, the portrait. That's why I like to call it the meat, the whole build. So we are doing a double melee buff over here, a 30%. Let's actually take a look at base over here. 17 and 20. All right, so most people are probably gonna get the 17 and 20 ratio split over there because I don't think anyone's gonna get this level 10 unless you guys are like big wells. And yeah, that'd be my guess over here. These two are a little bit more restrictive in a way when buffed. So like for example, we take a look at the arm over here. When buffed, it just actually just means that when you activate like these over here, like raise the melee attack. So upon this condition over here, then the 30% of the first portrait trigger. So if you guys are just entering the battle, this 30% will not be applied until you activate any buffs. Like you have your combat stance, like those are buffs, but I don't think majority of people doesn't really run those unless they're doing like multi missions, so like some sort of like longer events. So maybe you can take advantage of that. But if you are doing like arena, you want like a really blitz quick attack, I don't think you're gonna have time to activate like a combat stance. So most likely, but I do know that melee build do have a lot of like arm parts that have like a attack raise. A lot of melee parts do, so this one can be viable, but it's just gonna take a lot more work instead of like a really generic one. The second portrait is locked behind a P attribute, so you're gonna be stuck running a P type unless you can't run this any other way. So I would say this one is good, like good double like melee attack buff over here, but melee power buff. But you're gonna be a little bit more restrictive over here, which I don't really like. But overall, really good. And then is this something you need to like alternate? Obviously not, because there's a lot more like previous part we have gotten that's doing the same condition over here, so there's really no need to like, all right, I need to get the head or of the unicorn over here. So let's move on to the chest over here. Starter or swallow on paper over here as the parameter. As for the after everything is done, we're looking at rank 2 over here, coming at 5,300. So that's pretty good. But what are we gonna be doing over here? We are gonna lock this, but that's gonna be like, all right, we're gonna lock this behind an EX go over here just to make everything a little bit more balanced. So what we're gonna have to do is, unless you guys gonna put this on like your skin, this one, this is just crystallization. It's another one, so it's more of like an awakening, like the NTD unicorn we usually have. So it is gonna raise your melee attack by 44%. So at base level 1 is going to be at 35. At 35% is a pretty marginal buff over there, so that's pretty good. And then it's going to also raise your shot, melee and shot defense by 20%, and then your gunpla, resistant flinching for a set of period of time for that 30 seconds. That's pretty good. But like I said, these only last for 30 seconds, and then it's going to come in at an 18-second for like initial cooldown. So overall, I wouldn't really use any awakening unless you guys are doing like events. Then yeah, you can use it, but it's only gonna be for like 30 seconds, so you are better off using like some other like easy to form buffers if you just want that straight up melee attack over here. Potential option you can probably so what are the word tags of it? It was high firepower and high mobility. I don't personally run high mobility that much, and I know people in melee build don't really run high firepower, so that's gonna be a little bit tough to build around it. So we take a look at some chest piece over here, the 1 to 100. Oh, you need to click on the folder. Oh, this one doesn't have high mobility, or I think this one does, right? Yeah, you got yourself a good pair over here. So you can pair this up to like the XCA 1 to 100 scale alternation. So but keep in mind, if you want the part trait, this one's gonna be locked behind a T attribute typing, so you're gonna have to work extra hard just to deal with that. And the second part trait is okay. It's gonna buff EX skill time by 30%, so you can work that awakening skill a little bit more. So that's one option over here. Let me see. Alright, let's see the L strike. Nope, that's another EX skill over there. And then maybe the wing Gundam as well. Yeah, you can do that too. This is if you're trying to do like a shot build, but obviously the shot attack is too low to even consider doing a shot build. So the only option you will have currently is to get the ultimate, like the best buff. You're gonna have to subslot it to the 1 to 100 scale XT chest over there. Oops. Okay, back over here. So moving on to the arm over here. The arm right now is currently the best melee stat over here. I'm not excluding the arm plus integrated shield because that's a different topic over there. It's gonna come in a rank number 1 at a whopping 11,482. But why is it that high? Because if you take a look, there's no armor and the shot attack is really low. I mean, he did shed the armor, so I mean, like kind of makes sense that doesn't have any armor. So the banner didn't really like kind of balance it out a little bit. They took stats from here and there and put it into the melee attack. This one, like I said again, is locked behind another EX skill. So what are you gonna have to do is to pair this up with another 1 to 100 scale arm, which I'll go over in a bit. The EX skill over here is the Beast of Possibility. That's the like actual phrase I think in the early episode of like Unicorn Gundam Unicorn series. They talk about like the Beast of the Unicorn as referring to the Unicorn Gundam over there. This one is one of those split that's gonna do A pierce and A power over here. I believe I test this for like what is it, the unicorn? No, not a unicorn. The narrative C packs because you have another arm EX skill. That one throws in the unicorn phoenix and it does the same thing. I think it was A pierce and A power. I have tested it out that A power like these kind of cutscene. Like A power doesn't really do that much like on like alternation. So I think it's just really best to like put it on just to skip the alternation for this one, obviously. And it's gonna do a health restoration of 58%, and that's gonna also raise melee attack up by 29%. But if you are someone that wants like you want to see some big number damages, this one I don't think it's gonna give you all that, just because it's gonna be a power modifier. So I think any S1 will kind of out damage this one. But if you guys do like the cussing E skill, I mean, by all means, like, I won't stop you guys from doing that, but I'm just gonna tell you that the power might not be like the damage, like the total damage might not be as high as the S, obviously. So, this one you're gonna have to subslot this if you want to put this on your main build, because this one have like humongous melee attack. You can come over here and subslot yourself you can do this actually. You can run yourself a L Strike Gundam. I think this one I'll prefer this one more, just because that you have a this one over here, close combat. If you are doing like a melee build, close combat is gonna be a war tag you're gonna be running. So it's gonna give you a melee power boost by 30%, and then the second portrait over there, it's not gonna really do that much, I would say. But here's one option. You can also sub-slot this into the Barbados, right? Let me see. The Barbados arm will work, high firepower. So you have something, it's the same conditions basically. You have close range weapons, so like any melee EX skill that will work, and then the same condition for the second portrait. I believe you can sub-slot this into the Ixia as well, right? Let's take a quick look. Okay, can I click on it, please? Yes, you can do that as well. This one, it is going to be locked behind a T attribute, so that's why the other two is going to be a little bit more accessible to you all. And then coming back over here, we are going to be taking a look at the leg. Alright, the leg is going to be, it's not too bad, not too shabby. It's going to come in at rank number 3. We just have the double riser and then the double quanta. I think those two legs are obviously a more better candidate. Good war tag as well, high mobility and pro tag over here. In terms of the EX skill over here, this one is going to, like the second portrait, is going to be a little bit more restrictive in a way. I believe like the Barbados Lupus Rex, double quanta, double riser, those three vortex, I mean not vortex, portrait, or a little bit more accessible, meaning they're a lot more versatile, not really restricting to like any specific EX skill. Arm portrait is not that bad because this one does have a really good custom EX skill. That's why you want to be buffing as just that. But if you guys are going to be running other EX skill, those are not going to get the benefit of this 35%, which is going to hinder us a lot. Consider if you guys are like some advocate player for like the arena, there aren't a lot of like right now we have, what is it, the armor, like the really high armor arena right now. And then what I'm running like a mace throws from the T attribute, from the 1-to-100 scale. What is it, Barbados 4-form backpack. So it's like a melee throw, and then most of my E skill are buffing specifically to my backpack. So I can't really use other EX skill because I know they will do a lot of damage. So that's why in some condition this right here would kind of hinders it in a way. So I would suggest using, if you guys do have any of the following I said, I think those are going to be a little bit more viable just because they're not locked behind like a specific like what is it, to a specific part of the build. So all right, moving past that. All right, the arm over here, I mean, if you guys don't have any other option, I mean, this is a good choice as well. But you guys can wait for something that's a little bit more versatile instead of something that's more restrictive. So alright, moving on to the backpack now. The backpack is not bad in stat as well. Like the overall kit of Unicorn, really good stat. But that's why we're mainly gonna be talking about the portrait. Obviously we've seen all these portraits already, so this is not something like, oh my god, I have to summon on it. If I don't have it, I'm not gonna make it. That's not gonna be the case. But the unicorn backpack over here is something we don't really see that often because most of the time backpack are locked behind like a EX skills. So this one's a good change over here. So with rifle category equip, initial EX skill charge boosted by 20%. So this is really nice. I need a lot of these over there, and then I think we have a lot of parts that have ICD already. So in like you can like execute your EX skill like right out of the bat when you enter the battle, which is something you really need. And then as for the second portrait, is unfortunately it's gonna be locked behind a beam projectile, so you can use physical. If you guys use physical, this 35% of melee power is not gonna be taken into effect. What is it? Actually, this guy's own EX skill is a physical, so that's not gonna get the benefit of it. But obviously you're gonna be using it for other like EX skills, so this one will be really beneficial for like any other like melee build. Good shot like good melee attack as well, so this one will be a pretty key part to like any melee build, I would say. Good wear tag as well. You have high mobility and pro tag over here. All right, moving on to the B Magnum over here. Like I said in my speculation of the unicorn and the Kshatriya, I said that why would I said why they would throw in the beam magnum, just because this is coming from like the actual high grade, so Any of the high grade unicorn does come with a big Magnum, especially in the destroy mode version of it. So that's why we're looking at this right now. In terms of the stat, it's not bad for the rifle stat over here. It's actually looking pretty promising. I'll say 18k over here. So the portrait is really excellent as well. But this one is a little bit more restrictive in a way. This one's gonna be locked behind a Outfighter job, which is not bad, right? And then the second one is gonna be locked behind a P attribute. So yeah, this one you can only use it at the P build and then under a Outfighter. So yeah, we do have better. I think we do have a better choice. Like last week, we have the double riser. That one is not really restrictive. You just have to be running high firepower to get that initial cooldown. So I think that works around the same way too. But this one is like really locked behind a specific like um attribute and then like job license. So we do have the double riser and you alt it. I think that one will be a better option to run instead of this one over here. Yeah, good word tag as well. Alright, moving on to the final piece of this kit over here. The shield currently is going to be coming in ranking number 1, 5,000 melee attack with the change gear. Wow, impressive. It's these kind of posture again. This one is going to be locked behind Outfighter again. And then it's going to buff EXQ effect by 22%, which is really powerful. I've explained that many times. Like, take a look at the arm. We have a, what are we looking at? Let me refer back to this again. So basically that 22%, how this works is you take this 29% and they basically times it by 1.22, and then this is not going to be 29% anymore. It's going to be a value of a higher just because of that portrait. So this is pretty good, I would say, overall. Like, it's going to benefit yourself and it's going to benefit your squad if you guys are running this the shield in like a multi-mission setup. Unfortunately, this is gonna be the skill portrait is only gonna be beneficial to the arm EX skill. So if you guys are not running arm EX skill, this one will be kind of a waste. So that's something you guys gonna have to like manage this up. I would say pick something. There are better shoes that are not dedicated to just a specific part. So I think those are gonna be a little bit more viable overall. So up next, we're going to be going over the Kshatriya repair. I'm going to make a quick detour in the middle of the unicorn and the Kshatriya review over here. So we're going to talk about these two new AI build project. So over here, so we had Laura Rolla over here. So I'm not really going to talk about anything else, like just going to specifically target their portrait over here. So these two are non-conditional shooting power boost over here, but you do have like Gundam type while you have Gundam type. But I'm talking about this boost any of the, like, if you're using like an arm EX skill, chest EX skill, like EX skill, backpack EX skill, even like a shield EX skill, they'll get boosted by this. That is if you run it to a shot build, right? Shot or support type over here. So this one is good. Why are these good? Because if we take a look at the revived Shin Nazca over here, for this week, if you take a look at that second portrait, it is only to the back part over here. So that's why these are a little bit outdated in a way. They're not outdated, but they are just a little bit more specific, I would say. So that's why the Laura Rolla is gonna be a better option for the shot build over here. Like, same condition applies to the Stella as well. These two are doing the same exact thing. So this one, when you have high mobility active, and then both trade does support that melee power boosted by 30%. So this one is gonna be a better bet to like spend your, what is it, that 10 ZC material D, because next week we're gonna be getting the revive for the Cessna FCA ELS version, and Cessna suffers from the same condition as well. The second portrait is only for the back part. I think the Stella and the Laura Rolla is gonna be a lot more better, just because that any of the other EX skill can take benefit of that. So if you guys are someone that wants to get like two good It really depends on your build, because if you are someone that wants to get both of them, you're gonna have to do at least what 20 multi summons. That is equivalent to 30k horrors over there. So you can pick in between either one. It just really depends on like the build you guys are running. If you guys are like a big fan of like shot build, obviously pick the Rolla. Or if you guys like a really like a melee maniac, go for the Stella over there. So the pouch in your hand, just pick whichever one you guys really like. So these two are by far the best. I would say currently the best of the AI build project that we have. I think the previous one we have aren't. I can't recall if the Domokashu has good second portrait. Wait, you can actually take a look, because all the other old ones are here as well. So yeah, so this one is locked to the arm EX over here, and then the Kira I believe is locked to the leg. Yeah, so that's why I say the Bandaja links would say nightmare, not nightmare, but just a despair. It wasn't that good overall. So the two best one right now is gonna be the Laura and then the Stella. If you guys do need a good AI pilot right now, I think those are gonna be your top two right now. So we'll be talking about the Kshatriya review like right after this. Alright, so now talking about the Kshatriya repair over here, and just fortunately we only have 4 parts to go over, so I will be able to make the second half a lot more shorter than the first half. Yeah. Alright, so talking about the Kshatriya repair over here, the head is actually gonna be a little bit more better than a unicorn over here, just a slightly better stat. And the portrait is gonna be locked, I think the same condition, right? High mobility and high firepower. Alright. And the portrait is gonna be a lot more better than the unicorn, obviously. This one is a little bit more restrictive as well. You are locked behind a high firepower tag. I mean, you can do this to like any what is it, SPT type. Those will be just fine. But this one's gonna be locked behind Alpha job, which is that restriction over here. But this one is easy to satisfy because and you're not really like there's no really condition like for the EX skill, so not really no condition, but it's a lot more better, a lot more easy to activate than the unicorn head. So not a bad choice over here, not a bad choice. If I do ever get the head, I think I might consider it. I'll just alt it, but not really like putting all the effort into like building it just yet. So if you guys do pull the head and you guys are missing some good option for the head, I think this one would be a pretty good choice as well over here. All right, moving on to the chest over here. The ranking does look pretty bad. Word tag is pretty manageable. You have high mobility and high firepower over here. So this one is going to be EX skill over here. So not really much to talk about. If you guys do like the EX skill, by all means you can alternate it. This one is probably not going to be for your main build anyways, just because of how low the stat is. It's gonna be B power. B power is not really that powerful. If it was like a B plus B plus, I think it'll be a little bit more better. But just unfortunate, it's gonna be a B. So I don't think the overall damage is gonna be too impressive, I would say. So this is probably something you can skip. Really high defense though, but the actual offensive stat is just a little bit too low, just below 3,000. I think 3,000, like mid 3,000, is a pretty good region, I would say. But this one is just a little bit, just a teeny tiny bit low on the lower side. So, all right, moving on to the arm over here. The stat is huge, like big stat on the number over here. Looking at melee stat, offensive stat, and melee defense. So what is going on? Keep in mind this is an integrated shield, but we have never seen something of this of these stat over here. 16k? What? So up the arm plus integrated shield, this is gonna be coming out on number 1 over here. So obviously we're not gonna be talking about anything for the shop, because this one is like more of a melee built melee unit. Unfortunately, they are gonna shaft the word tag a little bit over here, coming in with high mobility and Xeon over here. Xeon is a pretty good option as well, because you do buff melee defense by 10% and melee power, or yeah, melee attack by 5%. So that's not a bad option if you guys are someone that mains a Xeon word tag. But so this one's gonna be your custom EX skill. So when my breakdown video, like talking about alright what we're gonna get for these like speculation video, I was like, how is it gonna what are they gonna do for like the arm? So now I know it's gonna be called beam javelin. I was like, what are they gonna do? It's not gonna give it like an actual melee weapon. And there they are. Here's the cutscene EXQ that execute everything. It's gonna do some beam javelin action. It's gonna hit you with that missile funnel, and as well it's gonna be that sign binder. What is it? The mega particle cannon. So this overall, I wouldn't say the animation is like really spectacular, but it is something over there. It is something. All right. Wait, no. Let me say one more thing. Because this is a, if you look at the category, this is a beam melee. So and then it's gonna do like what? It's gonna hit you with that mega particle cannon and some funnel action. So I would say the overall damage is not gonna be too high, just because it's gonna hit you with that mega beam cannon. So that beam cannon is gonna drive from your like shot attack stats. So that's gonna be a little bit lower. As for like missile funnel, I don't know if they categorize it as like a melee weapon or what. I think it would categorize it as a melee weapon because it is like a projectile coming towards your enemy. It's not shooting anything. I think. Do correct me on that one for like missile funnel category. All right. So this one where a hack, not a hack, right? What did I say? Hack, not a hack, but something you can do is because you have high mobility, right? You can actually do this. Take this over here. So you see a high mobility, right? In theory, if they don't really shape the stat up to, because I noticed that if you put in like an integrated shield into like a normal arm, I think the stat is even lower. It's not the actual, what is it, the 10.5%. But for this one, because this is a 1/200 scale alternation, if you do have one word tag, you have a non-conditional 20%, just because it's a big part. And you sub this one, you're gonna get a 30.5%, which is huge. So I think you can work it out like that to get that max, like that big number. But I think arm plus integrated shield does have a lower stat like after subslotting. Let me do know that I'm not really too sure on that, or it's just really normal. All right, going back over here to the final piece over here, the leg. The stat of the leg is actually pretty good on both sides. So, but you're not gonna run this on a shot build anyways because the word tag doesn't support it. It's gonna be locked behind an EXQ again. The beam Gatlinkin over here. This is I wouldn't say this is a must alternate because this is like a, I mean, if you want to run this onto your skin, I mean, by all means. But even pre-alternation, you are doing a B power already, which is already good. So even if you do put the light, I don't think it's something you really need to alternate. So I think the only parts you really want to alternate from the Kshatriya is probably going to be the arm, you want to subslot it, and the head. As for unicorn, I have a mixed feeling about it. It's probably like the shoe I will alternate. The backpack, obviously. I think the other parts I really wouldn't really go out of my way to alternate, just because you do have better, like a good, decent, better option than those, I would say. So that being said, hopefully this gives you guys a better idea of like, all right, do I want to summon on this banner, these two banner, or like should I skip and wait for something else better? Do keep in mind you guys should always wait for Thursday night because they will always drop something surprise on us. So that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one.